imagine going back 50 years ago and the very first hotels in Cabo being built and tourists going, and then all the land around it, El Tisal, along the corridor, being able to buy into that, whether it's a single family home lot or if you're a developer, a big parcel to develop. I mean, those are the people that made a ton of money over the last few decades. That's the opportunity that Emma's talking about in areas like Las Lomas 2, which is 2 minutes drive from Costa Palmas.
Yeah, and I know everybody's saying to us at the moment, oh, well, you know, the economy in the States or Canada or globally, there's going to be a recession. The difference here is that this is still a growing destination, and there's so many factors that people are moving here, not just for vacation, but full time.
Welcome to the Nick Fong Podcast. As the broker and owner of Ronaval Real Estate, Nick has spent nearly 20 years in Baja California, sir. And in this podcast, he'll be talking everything Baja, from food and culture to real estate and property management. And now, here's your host, Nick Fong.
All right, we're here at Zenit. Thanks for everyone to join us on a Friday morning. And especially Emma Nicholson, who's our team leader out in the Los Barriles office of Ronaval. Welcome and good morning, Emma.
Thank you, Nick. It's lovely to be here on this beautiful day.
Yes, and what of you? Do you see any whales out there?
I did. We saw one before and then a boat ran over it.
Cool. Very nice. Well, the East Cape, for those that don't know, Emma, where is the East Cape geographically speaking?
Okay, so for those of you who have never left San Jose or Cabo, if you go north, the temperature doesn't change. It's still the same climate. And you head northwards, probably recommend on MEX 1, and you drive for about 150 kilometers. It's quite a way, 150 kilometers, and that's the stretch we call the East Cape. So it's from south of Zacatitos up to Boca del Alamo in the north of El Cardenal.
Why do you speak in kilometers? You're from England.
That's true, yeah. I've been Mexican.
So about 90 miles,
Sorry,
right?
yeah. Well, that's actually the coast road. It's a bit longer on the other road, but it's very different, the East Cape, to here. We have swimmable beaches. Mm-hmm. We have a different pattern of weather. There's a very strong north wind that blows from November to around end of March, and that attracts a very different crowd of people. We have a lot of wind sport enthusiasts. But the great thing about it, unlike other wind sport areas where you think like Tarifa in Spain or maybe Lanzarote, the wind lies down about 5 o'clock. And so you can have cocktails on your patio or on your veranda and really enjoy the beautiful Sea of Cortez with the whales leaping and the dolphins playing. It's gorgeous.
You first came to the area in the Baja how many years ago?
I've been here about 12 years now.
Okay, so the East Cape is the place you immediately went to, or did you start like a lot of people in Cabo?
Yeah, I came to Cabo a lot, actually, 10 years before that, and hated it. Sorry for all the Cabo people here. And
why did you hate it?
It's just too many people, too many cars. I came from London, and it's like a mini London, and just really wanted some space. I was a windsurfer and discovered Los Barriles and felt like I'd come home. And then we never left. We came for a month, and that was 12 years ago, and we never went home.
So for you, it was vacationing in Cabo, but living in the East Cape.
Yeah, exactly.
And what have you seen in terms of trends over the last couple of years with people, who's buying in the East Cape?
Wow. So I would say, and I think a lot of people here have the same view, that it's, populated by sleepy fishing towns. Well, the fishing has changed a lot, and people are coming there now to the East Cape for pickleball, where we've got the biggest pickleball resort in Mexico, in Los Barriles. They're coming for wind sports, for mountain biking. It's a really big outdoor area. So you've probably got about 3 decent conurbations. You've got La Ribera, you've got Los Barriles, and you have El Cardenal. And yeah, La Ventana to a degree, but that's a very seasonal town because people come for wind sports and then they leave in the summer and it's dead. But what we're increasingly seeing is a big move from Cabo. And I didn't really know how to explain it. And I was talking to somebody from one of our mortgage companies, and they said to me, the problem is everybody's Caboed out. And our biggest group of buyers at the moment is people coming from Cabo and San Jose up to the East Cape, because they sell their $7 million condo or house, and they can buy a beachfront for 2.5. And a beachfront on a swimmable beach where, you know, they walk out of their gate, they jump on their paddleboard and their kayak, and they go and play with the whales and the dolphins immediately. I mean, that is a different quality of life that you just can't have here. So that's a group we're seeing. Influences that really changed us were COVID. We suddenly saw an influx of digital nomads. We saw younger people coming in with kids. We have private little schools now setting up, tutoring. We never had that before. 10 years ago, if you came with a kid, if you lasted a year, it'd be amazing because you just couldn't educate them there. But that's changed. We have a lot of investors coming in. We have one of the biggest rental markets and very little supply. And the buildings are being built, but there's still not enough. And you get to September when everybody starts coming back, and it's crazy. You just cannot keep the number of rentals. They just go so fast. So there's a lot of people coming up for that. And then retirees. All the baby boomers, they're still coming. They might have bought lots. Now they're building there, but a lot of them are deciding to buy. And one of the big issues we're facing is scarcity. Yesterday I had a meeting with 2 Mexican agents who have lived there all their lives. And I said, look, we need to find some lots. And they said, Emma, they're gone. So we have no lots left.
Emma, I mean, from the public, the Cabo folks, no lots. But when you drive to the East Cape, it's all empty land, undeveloped land. So why is that? That doesn't seem to calculate.
Yeah, well, their view is that there's a lot of land, but nobody wants to sell that land.
Okay.
That what we do have is the larger developer parcels. And, we're now working with developers. Developers have suddenly gone, ooh, hello, there's opportunity up there. I can buy 70 meters of beachfront property right on a beautiful sandy swimmable beach. Why am I not going up onto the East Cape? And, you and I, Nick, have in the midst of talks with quite a few developers, because there are a lot of hotels there who have been there for 30, 40 years, and the guys who own them are tired, they're fed up with running them, they now want to get rid of them, and they normally come attached with beachfront and awesome pieces of land. So what we're really seeing now is inventory, where we had 23 houses, just 23 houses this time last year, in an area of 50 miles, and there's 35 agents. So there's not enough properties for agents even.
0.6 houses per agent, basically.
It's crazy. So I think that's why you see our team. We've got currently 48 pending since January in our Los Barillas office, at Ron Eval's Los Barillas office. That's 48 properties, because we get the buyers and because we have a lot of the inventory. But that's running out. So, we're in a sort of desperate situation.
So if you're a developer, what opportunity do you have going into the East Cape? Maybe you don't know the East Cape. Maybe you just went there on a day trip as a developer. What opportunities are there?
So areas that I would say are good for development. Now, I'm only talking about the northern half, and if Sean were here, he's much more focused on the southern half of the East Cape, which is the more off-grid part, which you probably all know more. Vinoramas, Frailis, all of those sort of more remote areas where you've got, that's more surfing territory. But what you don't have there are things like the power or the water or the community. I'm talking more about Lighthouse and then north of Lighthouse Point Estates to El Cardinal, and that's where the big area is for development. There are big areas of land there for developers. I think there's probably one beachfront lot in 50 miles. That's it. We've got that listed. That's 750,000, and it's under 400 square meters. So that's how scarce it is there. But there are areas where developers could be putting in some amazing developments, like some of the hotel areas that really aren't hotels anymore. They're sort of abandoned areas. And we're not really seeing that. We just had one condo project, which is the first condo project there. That sold out within probably 2 months, and the Ronneval team bought half of it with their buyers. So that's gone now, and now there's nothing else.
So if you're a developer, you want to pay attention to the fact that there's no condo inventory, that there's a demand for that.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's still opportunities for beachfront, not actively on the market, but working with real estate professionals that know the owners. And a lot of the owners, they won't put it for sale. And that's something that's really interesting in the East Cape is a lot of it is off-market stuff that you living it, if a real serious buyer with real money, they'll sell.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, a lot of us were at Costa Palmas yesterday. Sol was there, Cynthia, Jesus. That project is non-trivial to the East Cape. That has dramatically changed the East Cape. And in fact, Michael, who is the head of the Costa Palmas development, talked about the Golden 5 Miles yesterday. And that was something that we made up in our office in Los Barriles to try and give a positioning to that area from Costa Palmas to Lighthouse Point Estates. And it's been dramatic. We cannot hold on to lots in Las Lomas too. That if you've got buyers that are looking for a lot around the 60 to 80 grand mark, you should definitely look at Las Lomas. We've sold, I can't remember, 25 maybe now. We've got 4 or 5 left. Lighthouse Point Estates, crazy. They've gone up. They were 180,000 when I sold them 2 years ago. They're now 400 and over. And Mike Scheibel, who I was talking to yesterday, who you know from the MLS, said to me that they're probably going to go to 1 million. So if you've got people looking to invest in a place where there's going to be real increase, then you really need to be looking and talking to us about that whole Lighthouse Golden 5 Miles area. And equally, the Paradise Coast area, which is north of Los Barriles to El Cardinal, that's like old Baja. But it's slowly waking up, and there are some amazing pieces of land there. And the paved road goes all the way to El Cardinal. For example, we have a $1.79 million house sitting on a hectare of land right on the beach. And I can't believe why it's not gone, because for me, I can see that area is going to explode. And with a hectare, you can build a hotel. You could split it in half and build 2 houses. You've got so many options, and it's a great house. Not many people have. That's got 70 meters of beachfront on its own. So, yeah, I think that the opportunity for you guys is to get looking and talking to your older buyers, check out what they're doing, how they're feeling, see if they want to be making other investments, and see even if they want to move up there, because that gets you 2 sales. You sell their property, and then you buy one with hopefully us or another agent up in the East Cape, because I cannot underestimate the move from Cabo and San Jose up to where we are at the moment. I get 1 or 2 people every day saying they've had enough.
Yeah, for real estate agents that, especially being in San Jose del Cabo, we have a lot of clients, more clients that are Cabo-centric, and we've sold hundreds, thousands of properties to Cabo and San Jose del Cabo buyers. They're homeowners now. They're condo owners. And the life cycle of ownership, 3 to 7 years, there's a lot of owners that would sell in today's market and buy in the market of the East Cape. And we've already seen it. Curtis and Linda did it. Clients of ours for 8-9 years. They bought 2 properties in Los Cabos, sold both, and purchased a house with you, Emma. Right?
Yeah. I mean, you can buy. So Sol, myself and Dee Dee just did the biggest transaction ever on the East Cape. We sold a gorgeous, gorgeous contemporary house on the beachfront. I think it was on the market for maybe 3 weeks. Sol's client bought it. And, that was the biggest purchase. But even that is not a lot of money for some of the people in Cabo selling $5-6 million condos and houses. So that shows the value you can get. I mean, we've got about 4 beachfronts at the moment that start from 1.5 and go up to 2.8, that I would suggest that you all come up and we go and look at them so that you are, equipped and you have a tool by which to leverage your existing older buyers to say, look, have you thought about it? What about going up there? I mean, our community in that Los Barriles area, I cannot tell you how strong it is. We have over 30 non-profits. There's stuff to do there. There is so much to do for family. There's so much to do for individuals if you're retiring. You know, it's not this sleepy village that it was pitched as. I still read a certain magazine that we have here, and they still say, oh, the sleepy village of Los Barriles. I'm like, sleepy? Have you been here lately? I mean, La Ribera is pitched to be 30,000 people in the next 5 years. I mean, that's huge. That they're building infrastructure now. They've got a huge retail development there that's just gone up that is eye-wateringly huge. Los Barriles, we're getting more paved roads. The population probably is about 12,000 in the summer. In the winter, drops down to about 4 in the summer. But we're still getting more year-round people than we've ever had. I mean, our office last year was busy all year writing offers.
Yeah, last year I remember you saying, oh, I'm going to go away for the summer because it's very slow, and it was crazy busy.
Oh, it was crazy.
You actually came back, I think, once or twice during the summer.
Yeah, Dee and I flew back all the time. It was nuts. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for being a part of the Nick Fong podcast. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast to get the latest updates. And if you're watching this on our social channels, please like and share. And if you want to be featured or you want me to talk on a certain topic, food, activities, culture, real estate in the Baja, drop a comment.
So we're actually meeting with developers. We're talking about the area. Us as individual agents, I think we're doing our clients a disservice, not educating ourselves of the inventory and what's happening in the market. A lot of our clients are looking for the next best thing. And this is one of the next best things, the East Cape, where you can have the Baja lifestyle, and especially what Cabo and San Jose del Cabo was 20, 30 years ago, and have a great investment along the way, because it's not going anywhere but up. I mean, there's so much attention on the area, and it was one high-end resort away from it breaking, and that's in La Ribera, Costa Palmas, and that is just kind of more like in the middle of the East Cape. And then going north of there's going to be a lot more going on, and south of there also.
And also like Todos Santos has that sort of more sophisticated feel now. I mean, when I lived there in the summer, you get a lot of Mexicans coming for the weekend. You get a lot of Californians coming for the weekend. With Los Barriles, it's definitely moving towards more of a wellness feel. We're getting more healthy food stores. There's a whole load of yoga. There's lots of different stuff for health and so on. And I can see it definitely moving towards wellness. The other thing that we have there is we have the hot springs that come out the ground. And now a lot of wellness groups are looking at that to see how they can harness that for wellness. And for any of us that were in Loreto at the weekend, we all know in great detail the value of having that wellness opportunity. And again, that's unique. Not many other places have those hot springs. So there's a lot there that hasn't really been tapped into yet that could really complement the town and grow with it with synergy, not come in with a huge, great big, I don't want to say the name, a huge hotel chain that would just plonk something there. I think somebody would come in as a developer and be sympathetic with the environment, because it's such a beautiful area, and I really do want to take us all up there and get you to reappraise it, and the high-end restaurants. And, we've got chefs leaving top restaurants like Tres Virgins in La Paz, coming to set up in Los Barriles because they can see the opportunity, because there's now more people with money, more people who want those sorts of restaurants. So yeah, I'm a big fan, obviously.
You live there, you're invested, obviously.
We're investing. I mean, I'm buying a lot of lots at the moment. As many lots as we can buy, that we can find, we're buying because they're already going up in price. There's one lot went up twice in 6 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Percentage-wise, how much?
It was 60,000 and it's gone up to 129,000 now in 6 months.
In 6 months?
Yeah.
That's in Las Lomas?
No, that's in Buenos Aires, which is Palo Blanco, which is north of Los Barriles.
Okay. And I saw Cyril. I mean, he has
Ciro.
Cabo Vina Rama, and that's also East Cape, 150 lots in a gated community, and that's a great opportunity also. That area that you were talking about south of you that doesn't have as much infrastructure.
Yeah.
But all of that's going to be developed. That's the opportunity. And there's a term in real estate, land banking, and some of the investors that we work with do land bank. And that just means instead of putting your money in the bank earning 0% interest, maybe even charging you a monthly fee to hold your money, land banking is where you buy land and you just sit on it. And you realize that appreciation as everyone is developing around you, building the houses, big resorts coming in, putting in the infrastructure, putting in 200-300 room hotels, and you have that appreciation at the benefit of just putting money that you already have into land. And so that's something else that us as real estate agents, I believe, are going to give great value to our clients that are looking for alternative investment opportunities. And it might not be a house. It may not be a condo. It could just be a lot that they just sit on. And it is, I mean, who else wouldn't want to make 100% return in 6 months? Now, that's an outlier, but I could certainly see it prices doubling conservatively in 2 to 3 years, no matter where you buy in the East Cape. And where else can you get an ocean view lot that's a quarter acre for under $100,000? You certainly can't do that in Los Cabos. At one time, you were able to, maybe 10 years ago, but now you cannot. And so those buyers are looking for those areas. So if us as real estate agents know that this is a trend that's going to continue into the areas like the East Cape, we should be educating our buyers, our investors of that. And a lot of our buyers who are now homeowners have a lot of equity in their properties in Los Cabos. And so how much more can $1 million condo that just doubled in price in Cabo go? It's going to go up, but maybe 3 to 5%. But wouldn't it be better from an investment point of view, invest that equity or some of that equity into a lot or a condo that Emma's going to be a part of bringing out of the ground pre-construction? Because that's the message that we're giving to developers out there, that where is their opportunity? It's in the East Cape. It's in the East Cape. Buy big parcels of land that where you can do maybe a hotel and residences or just single family home lots like Las Lomas.
Well, I mean, Las Lomas, just to give you an example, a group of us were at Costa
just so
Palmas.
everyone knows, Las Lomas is located where La Ribera, Costa Palmas is.
Yeah, it's about 2-minute drive from Costa Palmas, and it's a beautiful sloped development. It's not on the beach, it's across the other side of the road, but it's very carefully designed. So the CC&Rs make sure that no house affects the view of the Sea of Cortez. And we listed it. It wasn't going anywhere. We listed it 3 years ago, and we did a huge marketing campaign on it. Yesterday at Costa Palmas, 4 people came up to me and said, we want to buy a lot at Las Lomas. And I said, well, there's hardly any left. You need to get in now. So they took my number and they're going to get back to me. But I mean, they know there's that fizzle in the air around that Costa Palmas area, which is incredible. And yeah, it's not going to get finished until 2025 or probably go on for a few years after that. But when it is finished, that place is just an absolute huge attraction for everybody that lives around it. Because suddenly you've got top-end restaurateurs, you've got nightclubs, you've got a marina to walk around, you've got retail spaces. So yeah, it's made a massive difference.
Everyone, imagine going back 50 years ago and the very first hotels in Cabo being built and tourists going, and then all the land around it, El Tisal, along the corridor, being able to buy into that, whether it's a single family home lot or if you're a developer, a big parcel to develop. I mean, those are the people that made a ton of money over the last few decades. That's the opportunity that Emma's talking about in areas like Las Lomas too, which is 2 minutes drive from Costa Palmas.
Yeah, and I know everybody's saying to us at the moment, oh, well, you know, the economy in the States or Canada or globally, there's going to be a recession. The difference here is that this is still a growing destination, and there's so many factors that people are moving here, not just for vacation, but full time. And my husband and I are developers, so we buy land and we build spec homes. We sell our spec homes within 10 days. And because we can make what people want. So, you know, you can always send your buyers to me to talk to us about why we're still bullish about it. We're not stopping, because even if there's a lull, it will not be a long-term one, because you're fighting something which is psychological here, which is people want to live in Mexico, and that's not going to stop. And those old days of, you can't invest more in Mexico than you're willing to walk away from, those days are gone, because the US, Canada, wherever, is just as risky financially. So, but here it's holding its own, and the Eastcape is doing more than holding its own. It's basically booming in a subtle, controlled way, I like to say. It'll never be Cabo. It will be something more relaxed, but it will definitely grow.
And with that, everyone, I want to thank Emma for joining us for the second edition of Coffee and Contracts. Does anyone have any questions for Emma about the Eastcape? Or maybe you're working with a client that has expressed interest. Brent, actually, I know Emma has a client interested in Los Barriles.
4, I think. Yeah.
4,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, Ciro.
Hello, how's it going? I have a question from a client that what type of style is the one that it's style of construction is people looking in the Eastcape? Contemporary, like Mexican, what style? Because he wants to buy a lot, but he wants to build something that in the future he could potentially sell.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good question, because you can't win. You take some buyers to a contemporary house and they say, oh, it's not Mexican enough. And then you say, take somebody to a Mexican house and they say it's not contemporary enough. So I think there's sort of a blend. The inside, the whole concrete floor, the concrete surfaces, the parota wood gives it that nice fresh feel, but maybe the outside isn't super modern, because I've seen a lot of super modern houses not go. And actually the thing to do is to bring them to look around and then look at the houses that sold the fastest. So for example, the house that we built that sold in 10 days, that's a really good example of a blend of trying to keep not too modern, but inside it's extremely modern and contemporary. So I think, yeah, it's coming and looking and doing a little bit of an analysis on what sells fastest.
So as a salesperson, what I would suggest, Ciro, and anyone else that's wondering, I'm going to buy a lot, I'm going to build a spec home in the Eastcape. Should it be a Mexican traditional architecture or contemporary? I'd say buy 2 lots and have 1 and 1. Because the way the market is you have buyers on both sides of the fence. So with the way you can buy a lot around $100,000 or even less, I mean, it just makes sense. The demand is there for single family homes. And so
under 500, that's the big area.
So buy 2 lots, because as soon as you build that one house, the lot prices are going up, even during construction. So buy 2, buy 3, buy 4. And you as a sales agent are doing them a favor. You're making more commission on it. But when they finish and you sell that first house, they're going to be like, Ciro, I'm out of the market. What am I going to buy? How many times have we heard that with our clients where they said, okay, yeah, I got a good deal and I made a lot of equity, but where do I go from here? And so a lot of those people are going to the East Cape. Don't let your East Cape buyers just buy one property if they can swing buying multiple properties, especially residential lots.
And also, if you have high-end buyers, I don't know about you guys, but I always throw in a red herring on my my showings. So they might say they want Cabo or San Jose or whatever. I always say, have you thought about something completely different? Because you might hate it, but at least you'll know you hate it, and therefore it'll make you know what you really like. So we have some beautiful luxury properties. You know, we've got Casa Brillante, right, brand new 7-bedroom property, very contemporary and lighthouse, gorgeous, 2.5 million. You know, we've got Pedregal Place, 2.8 million on the beachfront, beautiful, beautiful house. We've got Villa Serena at 1.79. You know, we've got beautiful luxury properties that you might want to say, well, have you thought about it? You know, it might take you an afternoon, but it really helps you nail down your buyers as to what they want, because sometimes buyers buy on the beachfront or they buy in Cabo and then they get buyer's remorse because they didn't realize what they were getting into. So sometimes it's just a good way to make them understand what they really want. And yeah, sometimes they buy the red herrings. I love that.
And sold, wasn't your client a little bit open to the area, not necessarily just the East Cape?
Not necessary. He started looking in La Paz, then Cabo, then the East Cape, and he decided he only wanted the East Cape. And he started with the budget of $900,000.
So a budget of $900,000 going over $3 million and recording the largest single-family home sale in the East Cape to date. So I think we owe it to our clients to know the market in the East Cape, because there's opportunities to have situations. Maybe it's not 900 to 3 million, but it certainly can be 500 to a million. And you just don't know it if you don't know the inventory and if you don't know the markets outside of what your client is originally looking for.
I have one last thing to say. We have an awesome project. It's called The Residencies. It's a fixer-upper. It's $500,000. It's got 6 apartments in it. So 4 units on the bottom and 2 on the top. And it probably needs about 150 spending on it. But we worked out projected rental return is 15%. That's massive. So, you know, if you've got somebody wanting to put some money somewhere, they want to hide it or whatever, this is awesome. It will be rented out, I can guarantee, all the time.
And I'm going to offer Emma's services. If any of you have clients that want to learn more about the East Cape, I'm sure you're open to joining the agents and their clients on a Zoom call or meeting them out at the Los Barriles office. And sometimes our agents in Cabo don't even accompany their clients, and they just send them up to Emma and her team. So keep that in mind. All right, guys. Thank you for coming. And until the next Coffee and Contract, I think is in 2 weeks. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Nick Fong Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and the YouTube channel at youtube.com/Ronaval Real Estate, and follow Nick on Instagram at NickFong_Ronaval. Ready to find your Baja dream home? Check out the latest property listings at Ronaval.com or FindMexicoHouses.com. Hasta luego.